Skin the Heart Away Southern T, back with another EP. And I'm gonna be here for a good time now, long time with this. Today we here for the fight breakdown and prediction between Jermell Charlo and Brain Castano. The undisputed fight that'll be taking place this weekend. You know what I mean? This Saturday we got Jermell Charlo, Jermell Iron Man Charlo, and Brain Castano. Now this is a rematch. You know what I mean? This is a rematch. These guys faced out once before. They were in Houston, Texas, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Jermell Charlo's, hometown. They were in Houston, Texas. When they faced out the first time, Jermell Charlo's hometown. You know what I mean? And they boxed to a draw in a good back and forth fight. You know, both fighters got theirs. Both fighters, got theirs off. Type deal. Hold on for a second. My bad. Both fighters had their moments in this fight. Let me go and get my screen up. I don't know why I'm playing with it. Let me go and get my screen up. Both fighters, had their fair share, of good moments in this first fight. As you know, because the fight was seen, as a draw. We got Jermell Charlo, 34-1-1, 18 KOs. I think that's a little deceiving, you know what I mean? Because he is, a power puncher. He does, possess knockout power. We got Brain Castano, 17-0 with 2 draws and 12 KOs. Brian, I'm going to go ahead and start with Brain Castano. What's good, Mike the Reaper? What's good, Dwayne? Appreciate y'all sliding through. Can y'all do your boy a favor? Can y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't? Greatly appreciate y'all roll on in. But, yeah, we got Brain Castano, 17-0-2. You know what I mean? He's 32 years of age. I don't know why in my mind I thought Brain Castano was so much, older than that type deal. I don't know why I thought this dude was like 34, 35. Not because he looked older or nothing like that. I just know he been around for me. I don't know why I just thought he was so old. But Brain Castano, she only a little older than me. You know what I mean? Type deal. But yeah, Brain Castano is 32. He stands 5'7". With a 67.5 inch arm reach, you know what I mean? So Brain Castano got kind of small arms, to be at this division, which kind of surprised. I'm surprised he's so successful as he is at this division with such, small arms. They let you know that he must really do, know what the hell he doing inside that ring. For notoriety, of course, Jermell Charlo, he fought Jermell Charlo. He fought Patrick Teixeira. You might know him, former champion. 2-time champion, if I'm not mistaken, Patrick Teixeira. He fought Israel Lara, to a split draw. Did Brain Castano, Lara, Teixeira. Brain Castano, he fought Teixeira. He fought Israel and Lara, the great Lara. The great Lara, you know what I mean? Him and Lara boxed to a split draw. I was just talking about Lara on my brother G5 show. Make sure y'all check out G5. In the morning. Let me scroll down, see if there's anybody else that we may recognize. No, I don't. Okay, that's about it. Michael Soro. I know who Soro is. He fought Michael Soro. I think that's the African dude, if I'm not mistaken. It's a split decision win too, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, that's him. Yep, that's exactly who I thought it was. Yep. So we got Michael Soro. There we go. Boom. Yep. So yeah, so he got some. He got a couple hitters, on his list. Does Brain Castano, and let's go down Jermell Charlo's. You know what I mean? Jermell Charlo, 34-1-1, and I had hit on his 18 KOs. Being a little deceiving. That's because Jermell Charlo started off, as a boxer, and as his career progressed, and he made a trainer switch and everything. He started to develop, more knockout power. He started sitting down on his punches better. He got a little better, with his punch placement. I always been, a pretty good boxer, but he didn't necessarily, sit down on his punches like that. But towards later in his career, he's been stopping guys and knocking guys out. So more of those knockouts, are happening on the later half of his career. So right now, in the current time of his career, Charlo is most definitely a guy who possesses knockout power. So those 34 wins and 18 KOs, that's what I mean by that could be a little deceiving when you talk about a guy like Charlo. But this is what I want. This was interesting about Charlo. Jermell Charlo has been fighting, some of the top guys, in his division, his whole, career. Some of the top notable names his whole career. Dennis Duggan. He fought Dennis Duggan early in Charlo career. You know what I mean? Dick Charlo, Demetrius Hopkins. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that he was supposed to win this fight. He was signed to Golden Boy at the time of this fight, and he fought Demetrius Hopkins, which is his boss's nephew. You know what I mean? At the time of that fight, that was his last fight. He lost a unanimous decision to Jermell Charlo. That was the last fight of his career. You know what I mean? Type deal. You can't tell me he was supposed to win that fight. Type deal. Jermell Charlo also beat Vinicius. You know what I mean? I be butchering his last name, so I'm not going to try to say his last name, but he beat Vinicius, and Vinicius is a guy who fights at 160. You know what I mean? His only loss, after Charlo was Triple G. And then he started losing did Vinicius. He beat John Jackson. I just found out this was Julian Jackson's son, last night. But I knew that this Jackson dude had gave, Charlo a pretty good fight. This Julian Jackson's son. Now that they tell me he looked like Julian Jackson, now that I'm looking at him, you know what I mean? So, Jermell Charlo has been in there, with a few notable names. You got Charles Hadley, in there as well. Type deal. You got Charles Hadley in there as well. Type deal. But this is kind of when people, got on to him, this Erickson Lubin fight. This is, I think, is when, Jermell, started to take off. We know Erickson Lubin. So just to run, I'm just running through a few. I mean, it's crazy. I got to give him his just due because I want y'all to understand that this guy has fought some of the best guys at his division. Now, rather we feel like, they're the best of the best. He has fought the best of the best guys at his division. You know what I mean? When we talk about Jermell Charlo. So I'm saying, all that to say this. Jermell Charlo has fought the who's who of boxing. You know what I mean? He took a loss and he got a draw. He got a draw against Castano. He took a loss against Tony Harrison, and he bounced back better in the loss. We seen this fight once before. It was a close fight, style versus style type fight. We saw the first fight. Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo was more successful when he would keep the fight at mid-range and fight on the outside, when he would stay in the middle of the ring, use his jabs and fire off his counter shots. Brain Castano was more successful when he could make Charlo smother, his work, and he could get Charlo in the corners and where he's able to get his shots off. You know what I mean? That's where Brain Castano, did more work. So on the inside fight, I'm going to get an edge to Brain Castano. At mid-range, they're about even. And I think in that distance, Jermell Charlo, has the advantage. In rematches, Jermell Charlo, he tends to get better in these rematches. You know what I mean? I think he had a good game plan. The first time he didn't do exactly everything that Derrick James was telling him to do. But even still, when Charlo was, fighting on his own will and his own way, he was able to be successful in this fight. I think I really can't say too much about the breakdown of this fight because I seen the fight just like I seen the fight. The first fight was a chess match. It was a draw. I just told you Jermell was more successful on the outside. Castano was more successful on the inside. If Jermell Charlo can stay off the ropes and keep the fight in the middle of the ring, Jermell Charlo wins this fight. If Brain Castano could make Jermell smother his punches, put him in the corner, put him in bad, situations, cut off his angles, then Brain Castano win this fight. You know what I mean? But I think in this fight, because Jermell is better in rematches, you know what I mean? Because Jermell has been in the ring with him before, that wow factor, that it factor, of it all is not going to be there anymore, for Jermell. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be advantage Jermell. I know Brain Castano has been in there with Jermell too as well, but I think Jermell is just, the better athlete. I think he's the better, boxer. But what he can't do is get himself stuck in the corners. I think he's going to be able to keep himself out the corners and out the rope this fight, and he's going to be able to outbox Brain Castano to a unanimous decision. You know what I mean? Jermell hurt Brain Castano in that first fight, wasn't able to put him out. I don't know if he can consistently hurt Brain Castano enough to be able to get him out of there. It's Jermell Charlo, but I do think, he'll be able, to outbox him. I think he'll be able to keep him honest. You know what I mean? I think he'll stay out the ropes and not the corner. So I got Jermell Charlo by unanimous decision over Brain Castano. This Saturday. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, a highly entertaining fight type deal with these two guys. Make sure you tune in to that jump. Pretty sure it's gonna be bangers. Probably gonna be fight of the weekend. But that's all I got. Jermell Charlo, unanimous decision over Brain Castano. That he gonna put on the boxing clinic. Might drop him. You know what I mean? Might drop him. You know what I mean? Type deal. But I got I got Jermell Charlo, UD. Shout out my guy Mike the Ripper sliding through. My guy boxing matchup with Dwayne Freeman, Cal Wanello. Appreciate you sliding through this jump. My guy Yoda Crush was good. Shout out my guy A Street Mike was good. A Street Mike said he got Charlo, 8th round KO. He said Charlotte. Appreciate y'all sliding through this jump though. Jermell, 8th round KO. I mean, damn, Mike got me saying that. Jermell, unanimous decision. That's what I got this weekend. Appreciate everybody sliding through. Skin the Hardaway, Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out.